Uh-oh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Elizabeth A. Corshu. I am the founder and CEO of Nurse Exec Innovations, a career coaching and consulting brand designed specifically for healthcare professionals, registered nurses, and healthcare organizations. I am also the curator of the platform titled Pass the Mic. Some of you are probably saying, what is Pass the Mic? Who is Pass the Mic? Well, Pass the Mic is a platform established for advocates, visionaries, game changers looking to execute their global footprint into society by way of healthcare, business, education, technology, culture, politics, and so much more. Tonight, I am so honored and so greatly excited to have two wonderful guests. We have in the middle of our screen today, we have Assemblyman Jamel Holley, who's running for New Jersey Senate. We can just wave to the audience.
How you doing,
And we
Elizabeth,
have,
and to the viewers?
thank you, thank you. And we have James Spivey, which is at our top right-hand corner. He's a registered nurse and he's running for Union County of New Jersey Commissioner. You can just wave to the audience,
Hi, everyone.
James. Yes, yes. So I am so excited, and we're going to just jump right in because both of you have full slated activities later on this evening. So I'm going to address the first question to Assemblyman Holley, soon to be Senator for the state of New Jersey. So, do you recall, Jamel, what event or person inspired you to pursue the public servant office position? Do you recall?
Yes, I do miss Elizabeth. But first, let me say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you and your listeners tonight and your viewers. One of the things that I commend you, more importantly, is that you're a single mom and raising two boys. I come from a family of three boys, and we were raised by a single parent grandparent household, and so I commend you for your effort in being in the lives of your two boys, who happens to be twins. And thank you, and I admired you over the years for the work that you put into your boys to ensure that they had really a solid home life. But for me, to answer to your question, is that the person who inspired me is my grandmother, a single parent grandparent who was in law enforcement, who inspired me to just do better for myself and
Mhm.
to really appreciate the community of where we lived at in the borough of Roselle, where I eventually became the council president, the councilman at large, and the mayor, and now the first representative, first African American representative in the state assembly, and hopefully the first African American state senator. But it was my grandmother. It was my grandmother who inspired me to do well, inspired me to stay focused, inspired me to find within myself who I am and whatever goals and achievements that I wanted to set out to, that there was no limitations. And I try to represent that in my own leadership experience as a state representative, to ensure that others who come behind me, or others who I come along with, or others who I may not interact with, who are looking for opportunity and looking for chance, or looking for an avenue to create an avenue for themselves to become productive for themselves. I represent that. And so it was my grandmother who instilled all of that into me. And James is someone who I met when he was a teenager in one of our high schools, who wanted to just be an individual who wanted to better himself despite what was going on in our communities and the peer pressure that faces young people. I know that James ultimately found himself, and James stayed focused. That's why he's now a registered nurse and became the first African American to run a Black student union group here in the state of New Jersey. And I'm very proud of the growth that he has shown, and the example that others in his situation growing up, and the peer pressure that all of us have faced throughout our young adult life or teenage life, that he represents those individuals that will give hope and opportunity to just be, a productive citizen. So thank you for
Yes.
the invitation.
Yes, thank you so much. And kudos to you, because I've watched you over the years, from being a homeowner in Roselle and watching you from councilman all the way on up. So I'm looking forward to you taking on that new leadership role in that Senate seat. So James, if I can ask that same question to you, who or what event inspired you to pursue a public servant office position?
All right. Well, first, I would also like to thank you for having me tonight, and thank you, Assemblyman Holley, for the kind words. But to answer your question, prior to politics, I've always been engaged and service my community. I've always tried to give back. But the thing that actually inspired me to get involved with politics, I would have to say, is President Barack Obama. Because prior to him, there wasn't anyone that looked like me that served in that magnitude. And once I saw him do it, it really gave me the courage to give politics a try. And I actually began by volunteering for Assemblyman's when he was running for councilman and also mayor of
Mhm.
Roselle. So it's now an honor and a privilege to be on the ticket with him and also with the entire team.
Awesome, awesome. So, you both of you have your unique stories, and thank you so much for sharing in the transparency. So, in regards to your leadership style, Assemblyman Holly, what would you identify as your leadership style, and what do you how would you engage a community of various generations, cultures, and political parties that may not be on the same vision, but you want to be able to get everyone on the same team for the greater good of the community? What would you identify as your leadership style and your strategies to be able to engage the community?
Well, I think first, when you step into the arena of representing people or you want to lead people, is that you have to listen. And I think that part of my leadership style has always been to listen to people. Everybody doesn't have the same issue. Everybody doesn't have the same path. Everybody doesn't have the same journey. But as an elected official that represents so many different cultures, so many different individuals, is that I have to listen. And part of uh, why I got involved in politics is rendered back to my days and my years as the class president at Abraham Clark High School in Roselle, where I listened to my peers, and I listened to a lot of the issues that they were going through. And as a class president, although it was more so educational focus and things that we were dealing with in the school system, it was really about hearing them out about some of the things that they were confronted with. And so I've carried those similar traits into my years as a councilman, my years as a councilman at large, my years as a council president, my years as a mayor, my years as an assemblyman, is that you got to listen to people. You got to talk to people. You got to hear them out. And so that, you make decisions based upon what you hear and what people are
Mm,
facing. I think that all too often we don't have that kind of representation,
mhm.
or there's not been representation that's just been displayed of people who actually are representatives in political office, who actually listen to the people that they represent. And so I think that that's the one leadership skill set that I believe, or trait that I believe that I possess, is just listening to folks, and listening to individuals and listening to people, and hearing them out. And then whatever issues that I'm confronted with, that I make the right decisions for them. Or if there's a
Yes.
situation where I can advocate for those people who have that small voice, who don't think that people are listening, to them and bring their forefront issues to the mainstream and try to get it done and resolve it for them. Because we all
Yes,
are different. We all are
yes,
different. And we all have different paths and we all have different journeys. But if you're in elective office, you just can't be a one focused mind person. You got to uh, be able to be diverse, which our community represents, and you got to be diverse in your decision making in terms of how do we meet in the middle and agree on some things and try to get some done for all of those individuals who are confronted with the issues that they are faced with.
yes, yes. And I love what you just said in regards to we have a diverse group, diverse ideas, and listening is so important. A lot of times we find that in some public servants are very just sharing their focus, their vision, but not listening intently. So I thank you for honing in those key characteristic and leadership traits that are very, very important. So James, same question to you. What is your leadership style and what are some strategies that you will utilize to engage the community once you get elected to that New Jersey County Commissioner seat?
So my approach is actually similar to Assemblyman's Holley. When I enter a room, I understand that people are gonna have different opinions than I do, and they're gonna come from different walks of life. And my approach has always been to first listen to what they have to say, and not only listen but understand where they're coming from. I believe even when you have different perspectives, you can always find a common ground and understand where that person is coming from, even if you don't agree with them. And once a person sees that you genuinely care about their concerns and you're not just trying to tell them what they want to hear, they'll be more willing to work with you and understand where you're coming from. And as a millennial, I'm willing to build that consensus across generations and engage with individuals where they are and meet them where they are. Because a renter may not have the same issue as a homeowner, and a
Mm-hmm.
senior may not have the same issue as me. So I think meeting people where they are is the key to achieving that greater good, and it's something that I'm willing to do as your future county commissioner.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And I love what you just said about meet them where they are, because a lot of times, especially I'll make reference to my twin sons. Sometimes if I'm trying to dig, share a particular vision or goal, and they're like, Mom, you're talking at me. You're not talking to me. And that's a very important piece to have when you're trying to engage in getting, mobilization towards taking a vision to execution. So moving right along, in regards to, every state, every county, every city, every community has its own unique initiatives, but is there any particular initiative? I've been seeing some, I actually saw your Assemblyman Holley. I saw that wonderful video for Senate and it talked about I am you, but I'm not going to put the pressure on just that initiative, but is there any particular initiative that is crucial to you that is in the state of New Jersey? I know there's a number, you're very vocal, we know that. And we could be here we don't have enough time to talk about all the initiatives, but if there's one particular one that's really near and dear to your heart and soul for the state of New Jersey that you'd like to bring to the forefront of the audience, of those that are watching right now and those that will catch the replay, what is crucial to you as the initiative in the state of New Jersey, and how will you be able to try to affect change once you get elected into that Senate seat? See, I believe in speaking things into fruition, into prophecy. So we know you're going to get the seat. So what is crucial to you?
I represent Miss Elizabeth, a wide range of people who come from different backgrounds and different journeys in life. And so it wouldn't be fair to me to pick one particular issue that
Okay.
I'm passionate about? And that's a very good question. I wouldn't take that away. But when you represent people in general and you represent a diverse of thousands and thousands of people who come from so many different backgrounds, it's very hard to pick one, and you don't want to put one before the other because so many people face so many different aspects of what they're going through in life. But I think the one thing that I do agree on and the one thing that I do represent is being a leader of everybody who will hear them out and take their issue and represent them and be their voice in that room of when the halls of power are making decisions to ensure that whatever their issues are going through, and no matter what bills or what laws that we are being asked to vote on, is that person who is going through that particular issue, they have a voice of someone who's going to be in that room advocating for them. And so I've got many issues, and the issues are so broad, from social justice to women issues to family parental choice, from expungements and property tax relief. When you're in government at this level, there's so many issues that you come across with so many different people, and not one of them agree on the same thing. So the one thing that I
Mm-hmm.
represent is the people to hear them out, that at least they have someone that will listen to them, that will hear them out,
Mm-hmm.
and that will advocate and try to come to a middle ground of advocating for what they believe in and what I can produce as an elected official. So I got a lot of projects that I'm working on. I got a lot of laws that I'm working on, and it's so diverse, it's so broad. It's not one particular issue, because the issues that I undertake and the issues that I step out on the front are excuse me, are from many different cultures of people who I
Mm-hmm.
come into contact with, and who I want to make sure that whatever their issues are, they're addressed, and that they are attentive to, that they have someone that will, fight for them. So it's very broad. It's not one
Okay.
particular issue, Elizabeth, but it's very, very broad. And I try to bring all those nuances
Uh-huh.
of where I can go and where I can lead them into, and bring them to a resolution of, here we are and here's what we can do to address your particular issues. So I'm a
Okay.
multifaceted elected official, right? I'm a
So
multifaceted
you're
elected official,
global.
and well,
Yeah.
global if you say so, but I'm multifaceted in a way where everyone has a different journey in life, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
is looking for leadership at some point in government to represent them. And I try to take those experiences and those conversations and those discussions that come from people, and try to articulate that into a resolution, so that they have a voice in their path and their journey in life.
Okay. Awesome. So is that how you kind of came up with the theme of I am you for your
Yeah, I
video?
did.
Okay.
I did. IMU is very important. That's a very important video. And those listeners who have not seen the IMU video, I challenge them and ask them to go to jamelholley.com, JAMELHOLLEY.com, and view that video, because IMU is exactly what I represent. I represent every facet of life in this district in particular, in this county in particular, and the laws that I help pass in the state of New Jersey, that I am one of them that lives amongst them and that represents them.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
James Spivey, RN, you also you bring a great spin to this opportunity, this seat that you're running for, because you're a registered nurse. So as a healthcare provider with a recent graduate that came out last year into the pandemic and so forth, is there any particular initiative that is near and dear to you, or anything that you've thought about long and hard, that you would like to be able to bring to the forefront of the audience and the concerns, or what type of changes are you looking to affect once you obtain that commissioner seat?
Well, one initiative that's dear to me that I would like to focus on is affordable housing. Housing, including shelter care, is an issue that all age groups and family sizes, including those with special needs, such as the disabled and aging population in Union County, faces. On average, Union County residents pay 42.3% of their income on housing and rent.
Wow.
Landlords are increasingly refusing Section 8. In 2019, there were 438 people that identify as homeless, and those that identify as chronically homeless increased from 28% in 2018 to 68% in 2019, and 25% of that percentage consisted of people with mental illness.
Wow.
Being someone that has personally struggled with housing and has advocated for mental health on a daily basis, this issue is personal to me. And as commissioner, I will bring these experiences, and I will always advocate for the residents of Union County.
Wow, thank you. That is very noble of you. And that is, from nurse to nurse, it's a big concern, because we know that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you are supposed to have food, shelter, clothing. And without one of the three, you're feeling totally lost, and then the mental component then gets challenged on so many levels, because especially we're in this pandemic, there's social injustices and economic challenges and so forth. So I wish you all the best in regards to that. And if you need any help, my fellow RN, and I admire you. That is really noble of you. So jumping into the final question of tonight, there has been various themes that have started these themes have been around for decades, right? For years. But for some reason, it seemed to have been like an unsurmountable volcano that just erupted all in between 2020 to 2021. In regards to injustices, the global pandemic, food insecurities. I know I've seen both of you have done a lot in regards to making sure the communities in the state of New Jersey and the counties, Union County, is well taken care of. But is there anything else that you can think of in regards to Jamel Holley, Assemblyman Holley, that you'd like to be able to utilize your scope of influence to affect change, especially during these trying times within our community? Is there anything particular? I know you are multifaceted global leader, making global footprints all throughout, the nation and worldwide. But is there anything that you'd like to share that we don't know about that you've been doing?
I mean, a voice, Elizabeth. I think that people now more than ever, with the COVID and all that we've been through, and going on now 2 years, almost 2 years, is that people are looking for a voice. And people are looking actually for someone who represents them, that lives amongst them, and someone who is going to hear them out and listen. We've been out there, we've been serving food. We've been giving out baskets of food. My office alone has helped over 1,000 individuals on unemployment. People at this point just want to get back. They want to get back to normal. And I think that because of all the complexities that have happened with the rollout of the vaccines and the lack of step up from government, and the hard times of dealing with unemployment and the system of unemployment and trying to claim your benefits, I think that people are just ultimately looking for representation in government. And I think that what COVID has definitely revealed is that leadership and representation, whether you're a mayor, whether you're a councilman, whether you're a Board of Ed member, of education, whether you're a county commissioner, whether you're a state representative like I am, or whether you're a federal legislator or even the president, is that leadership matters and that people are looking for individuals who are going to speak their issues. And at the end of the day, whenever they call upon government, that someone is there, or there's people who are there that are going to make sure that they answer their call, answer their email, answer their interaction of what they need to make sure that whatever block or barrier that's in their place right now, that they have someone who will be there for them to give them direction, to help them get over the next hurdle. So I think that
Yes.
for me, I want to represent and continue to represent is someone that they can call upon to help them get through that next barrier in life so that they can get through the next level in life for themselves and their families.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And James, same question to you. What would you like to be able to utilize your scope of influence to affect change?
Well, as a mental health nurse, I would like to put an emphasis on mental health and also substance abuse. Due to COVID-19, a lot of us have been isolated, and mental health has been at an all-time high. Being in
Yes.
the medical field, I've personally had conversations with adolescents who has attempted to commit suicide due to social isolation. My
Mm,
town, yeah, my town, for example, we don't have a recreational center. It's something that Jamel Holley fought for a while back.
yes. Yes.
And I
And
think having these resources from the county could provide activities and programs to combat some of these issues and keep our youth off the street. In
yes.
addition, as a African American male, I've seen a huge distrust in the medical system and also the political system, specifically in the minority community. And I think having someone that looks like me can mitigate some of that distrust. And as the slogan says, I am you.
I am you. And just to kind of piggyback off in regards to that recreation center, that recreation center has been talked about for quite some time, but I'm completely in a agreement that our youth need that recreation center as well as other things, because that brings me back, James. You may not know this. Earlier part of my career, I worked in the trauma ICU, and I worked with young brown and black males that were subject to gang violence and drug deals and all sorts of things. And when I would speak to them and have one-on-one, commentary with them, and they would say to me, if I just had someone that showed as much concern, if I had opportunities to, get involved in certain activities and not be on the street, I would have, I would be in a different place right now in life. And to kind of go back to your point earlier, Jamel, how you said I'm very active and busy and pushing forward behind my twin male sons. That is the reason, because I saw up close and personal what not having resources can do to a community. It can destroy a community. So I just wanted to, before I close out for tonight, this evening, Assemblyman Holley, soon to be Senator for the state of New Jersey, Holley. Any final closing remarks that you'd like to share or impart with our audience?
Yeah, well, again, thank you so much for giving me and James the opportunity to speak with you and your viewing audience. I think that now more than ever, people are tuned in to who they elect on the local level, the county level, the state level. And I think that what we represent, just by taking the time to speak with you tonight, is about who we are. And no publication, no website, platform, no show is too small or too big. I think that what we've missed in the years of political office and political representation is that we don't talk to people in general. And I think that what I represent and what James represents and the others who are running on our AMU, Union County Democrats, is that we care about the everyday common people, the people who are actually now tuned in to what their government is providing them and the representation of who they want. And so I'm very thankful for your invitation, but also more so want to speak to the residents of Union County, in particular District 20, Roselle, Elizabeth, Union, and Hillside. Don't give this opportunity up. We've been looking for this type of representation with my candidacy as state senate, Diane Murray Clements, and also Christian Velez for the assembly, and James Spivey and Ada Velez to represent people who are you, people who actually relate to you, and people who are amongst you, and people who can understand everything that we go through every single day. And so I'm thankful for the platform that you able to provide us, Elizabeth. And also thank you for being just a great mom in our community who are raising American young men during this time that is most challenging more than ever. But thank you and you, the viewers who have tuned in tonight, and all the best to you, James, on your run for county commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you. And James, if you'd like to share with the audience any parting words.
Well, thank you again for your time. Thank you, everyone that has viewed the live and that has supported me along the way. I want to thank all the residents that I have had the opportunity to meet so far. I'm looking forward to serving my community, and thank you for the platform.
Okay, thank you. And the date of the election is June 8th, correct? I just want to make sure that our viewers are.
It's June 8th, and we are column B, and polls are in person, and we have no gubernatorial primary election. The governor is running unopposed. So those of you who are tuned in, you can go right down column B and vote for myself, Christian Velez, Diane Murray for the assembly, James Spivey, and Ada Valeda for county commissioners. We're right on column B. We're in the Democratic primary.
Okay, Diane Murray Clements just typed that in. She said June 8th, column B. Okay, so you got it right here live on Pass the Mic. This is Elizabeth A. Corshoe signing off with Assemblyman Holley, soon to be New Jersey Senator, and as well as soon to have James Spivey, RN, that's going to be Union County, New Jersey Commissioner. So we're looking forward. And please, please, please vote, 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 as Jamel and James have driven the IMU. They are you. They are in the community. They are listening intently and looking to affect change in your community. Thank you so much. Have a good night. God bless. Take care. And best wishes to both of you.
Be well. God bless you.